Good afternoon, students, colleagues, family, and friends. I am Abiodun Goke Pariola, President of North Central College, and it is my great honor to welcome you to today's ceremony. We're gathered here today to celebrate the college scholars in the class of 2025, and this is a very special group of students who have chosen to challenge themselves by pursuing a high level of rigor and engagement during their time at North Central. We like to think that we have very good students generally, but these ones have gone above and beyond. I call them students who are gluttons for punishment because they go the extra mile. In the process, you, our college scholars, have contributed so much to North Central College, to our community, through your involvement, leadership, dedication, and higher learning. I hope you feel very proud of all your accomplishments and the degree you will receive on Sunday, and that you continue into your future with the same curiosity, confidence, and courage that you have demonstrated during your time on campus. On behalf of our dedicated faculty, some of whom are sitting behind me here today, and staff, we wish you all the very best. We are proud to have been a part of your 4-year or 2-year journey here at North Central College. Well done, college scholars. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're very fortunate to have both the president and the provost having such impact, both with family in the program as well as former directors. So thank you both for being here. I'm so happy you've joined us today for this culminating event. The class of 2025 is the 41st graduating class of college scholars, which means it's our land anniversary. I had to think about land for a minute, but I thought sense of place really brings that. Symbolizing a long-term growth and stability, an enduring bond, and a long journey together, a true testament of these scholars' commitments to scholarship. Coming in as a director, you gave me a sense of place. Each courting ceremony is special for graduates and their families, but this year particularly so for the class of 2025. Continuing to strive via a global pandemic, 3 honors directors, and 4 college presidents, they persevered and stayed the course. They've been true peer mentors and leaders for the college scholars, investing in building a strong community. I've seen firsthand true leadership and leading from within. With over 250 service hours in the community on top of their honors work, regular classwork, thesis studies, as well as an average of not 1, but 2 to 3 leadership roles on campus for each person. They traveled the world to study away and brought their unique perspectives back to North Central in their honors seminars and capstones. They truly exhibit the definition of social change by scholars. With love of learning that defines these scholars, they kept at it. Reaching this day is a testament to their motivation and good humor. Long hours of research, writing, and revision, writing, revision, along with handling from some tough criticism, made this moment possible. They also made time for friends, connections that will last across their lifetimes. When I meet with honors alums, they fondly remember college scholars' impact and share images from their own courting ceremony. What makes the honors program at North Central so special is that each student's journey reflects their own scholarly and personal story, this place of North Central for them. The College Scholars Class of 2025 represents academic departments and programs across the college. Graduates, your thesis projects reflect that cross-disciplinary impact. Just last month, you presented your projects publicly at the Rahl Symposium, demonstrating your growth as critical thinkers. Today, you share the tradition of our golden quartz. Now it's time to show some gratitude to all those who make this day possible. What makes our college scholars so unique is the outstanding guidance, encouragement, and commitment of time given by the faculty thesis directors seated behind me. If you can stand, please do. And graduates, I invite you to give a round of applause to your thesis director. I don't know if there's any second readers or librarians in the audience. Yes, thank you. So round of applause for your support. It takes a village. Now, word of appreciation to four persons whose leadership makes this program possible. I had mentioned our provost, former College Scholar Director, and provost and vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Kristen Garrity. And usually hiding out in the wings, amazing person who keeps everything running, our former academic affairs project manager, Amy Smith. And our talented former graduate assistant, who is now a student success coach, so we've got an ally, Brittany Benson. And one last important thank you for some individuals especially deserving of our gratitude. Will all of our College Scholars, families, and friends please stand as you are able and be recognized for all you've done to bring your graduate to this moment. You get a little exercise, a little stand, ready to sit for what's next. Class of 2025, College Scholars, we can't wait to learn where life takes you. Know you can always come home to this place, this land of the honors program and North Central College to share in our Cardinal community. Now it's time to begin the courting ceremony by inviting each thesis director to present their students with their gold College Scholars graduating cord and share words of encouragement.
In the fall of 2021, I had the joy of teaching 7 of the scholars here today in a section of first-year writing that brought me back to the classroom after a period of alienation. Thank you to those 7. Today, though, I'm going to talk about Ashlyn Alamand. The great thinker and poet Audre Lorde wrote, "The white fathers told us, I think, therefore I am, the black goddess within each of us, the poet, whispers in our dreams, I feel, therefore I can be free." These lines ignited Ash's entire thesis. In this project, she asks us to re-envision how we know and experience the world by taking emotions as the basis of knowledge. A sociology major with minors in race and ethnic studies and gender and sexuality studies, Ash is curious about the nature and uses, or rather misuses, of power. In her thesis, she masterfully analyzes how Lorde, across her collected works, traces an alternative epistemology that centers emotions rather than reason or logic. She identifies and then collapses the dualism that has for centuries and across nations limited the scope of knowledge. She argues that Lorde is a necessary corrective to patriarchal conceptions of reason that would have us ignore what it means to know by feeling. Joy, pain, pleasure, sorrow, and everything in between. From book banning to the fall of Roe v. Wade, her thesis works through a series of recent actions and legislative policies that would minimize and even erase the experiences of women and marginalized people. She offers Lorde in her writing and in her person as an antidote to the extremes wrought by Descartes and his philosophical and political errors. Inspired by Lorde's poeticism, she renders her own thesis in gorgeous language. You know, I thought you should have been an English major, but it's okay. Each sentence and paragraph carefully crafted. Ash is Lorde's descendant in both intellect and art. In other words, Ashlyn, you felt this thesis into being. I'm so proud. Here you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so you ready? You sure? Come closer. Come closer. Okay, there we go. I've had the good fortune of knowing Libby almost her entire time at North Central. From 101 to 312, and now her thesis, I have seen Libby's academic and activist evolutions. I knew from the first class with Libby that she was motivated to learn as a means to advocate for change, and she embodies the necessary traits of a successful scholar activist. curiosity, irreverence, imagination, a sense of humor, and a bit of a blurred vision of a better world. Libby's thesis journey really began with when she took her first GSST course with Dr. Delinko, and since then she has been on a relentless pursuit to ensure the promise of true democratic citizenship and making sure that it includes those who had to argue their way into a document that was not written for them. Her thesis, Where Are the Women?, argues that this process is not simply a political one, but an educational one. Knowledge is a necessary public good for a flourishing democracy. But to break open our exclusionary democracy, what we learn and who we learn from must not be exclusionary. Libby's thesis was traditional in a sense that she conducted a thorough literature review on the lack of women identifying authors in college syllabi, but more importantly, the consequences of this. And she did this by looking at College of Arts and Sciences syllabi here at North Central. And she did find support for her hypothesis that there was a significant lack of women identifying authors represented in the syllabi. But this part of the thesis, this more traditional part, was really only the means to the end, as her real motivation was her Just Add One initiative. She knew, as a good activist scholar does, that she had to use her scientific skills to demonstrate that there was a problem and there was something that could be done to solve it. She created a pamphlet with resources, QR codes, and recommendations across disciplines to just add one woman identifying author to a syllabus. Because again, like any good scholar activist, she also knows that change can be painstakingly slow, but can happen. So as you leave here and continue your education in your master's program, never lose that irreverence, you're making me nervous, irreverence, imagination, sense of humor, and a blurred vision of a better world. Congratulations. Wait. Sorry, you're stuck with me just one more time. Hi. I don't ever see you without your lacrosse clothes on. We're all dressy today. Okay, I'm gonna start with a quote here. My research suggests that reversing this trend requires more than institutional tweaks. It demands broader civic engagement and a willingness to see the court as more than just another political battlefield. This is how Tori ended her raw presentation last week, and really this encapsulates your whole journey. 2 years ago in our research methods class, Tori wrote a research paper design examining the effects of polarization on public opinion of the Supreme Court and the effects on the court's legitimacy. Little did we know then how prescient that research was today. So last spring, we met and we started to sketch out the tweaks of what this new project might look like in preparation for Tori to study abroad in Taiwan in the fall, which was amazing, but maybe not the best idea when you're trying to write your thesis, right? But still such an incredible experience. We were, when Tori came back, we were getting ready to distribute the survey, data collection, and data analysis in January. But by the time we hit February, our conversations began to shift. The gravity of her theoretical and hypothetical expectations began to sink in. If she found evidence to suggest the public approves of the court, regardless of whether they're acting legitimately or bucking the Constitution, what does that mean for democracy? What happens if our seemingly nonpartisan, unbiased arbiter of the Constitution is still seen as legitimate even when acting illegitimately or not acting at all? And moreover, what does it mean when elected officials attack the court and tell the public it has no role in interpreting law? Those conversations, like I said, began to shift. So to test this, Tori employed a quasi-experimental survey design, which is very difficult to employ, but becoming more common in political science. So it took a minute, and we had some bumps in the road, but like Tori always does, she buckled down and she did excellent work. She had over 170 responses in a very short period of time, and for any of the thesis scholars who have done survey research or any colleagues behind me, 170 is a lot. It was very impressive. And I lost where I was, so here we go, sorry, okay. In the end, even with a little bit of noisy data and mixed results, one thing was very clear. When people know that the court has been ruling in ways that are partisan and they don't align with their partisanship, they think the court is less legitimate. But they also think the court is more legitimate, trust them more if those things align with their partisanship. And no research in political science had tested it in this way before. This was a truly first time in a project. It was incredibly impressive. We know that elite cues and polarization are very powerful in a way we did not know before. So this takes me back to Tori's statement in her presentation, and I'll remind you again. My research suggests that reversing this trend requires more than institutional tweaks. It demands broader civic engagement. Because Tori's motivation now, and continuing her study in her master's program, is to learn as much as she can about institutions in power and to try to create tangible outcomes for democracy and try to teach others how to do the same. In the why does this matter section of the thesis, which sometimes might be the hardest one to write, Tori warns the readers about the dangers of both the perception of an illegitimate court and an actual illegitimate court. And both have dangerous consequences for democracy. But as a true civic educator, she also tells us that it's not too late. Stay engaged, do your research, participate, learn and push others to do the same. And I have no doubt that that will be your pursuit and it will guide you in your professional and personal life.
So congratulations on all your hard work this year. It's been wonderful to watch your thesis evolve from an early interest in mental health into a thoughtful multimedia project that combined research and design. Anna's work is especially timely in a world where young people are increasingly targeted by social media algorithms more interested in capturing their attention than speaking to their humanity. For those of you who saw her work at Raw, you'll know that she focused specifically on 18 to 25-year-olds, the age group most affected by mental health challenges. When I was graduating college, the first iPhone had just been released, and Facebook was only beginning to gain traction. The world that Anna and her peers are entering is vastly different, and many, like Anna, are meeting its challenges head-on. That's why Anna's work is so powerful. She's not only researching these issues, but she's using her voice as a designer and communicator to create work that empowers others and calls them to action. That kind of purpose-driven design practice is something we need now more than ever. Anna, I have no doubt that you'll move through life with the same level of care, compassion, and determination you've shown here at North Central. Congratulations again, and thank you for making a difference.
It was a pleasure watching Tina's project grow and evolve. Her work was truly interdisciplinary, where she included her passion for photography, her love for nature, as well as her majors in biology and environmental studies. In addition to all of that, she included a social practice within the project by inviting local community members to participate. She created a jury call for submissions to invite members of the community to apply to have their photographs about nature displayed on campus, as well as virtually. She designed the website to display her work, as well as the community submissions. She invited 2 members from the community, Professors Valentine and Reed, to jury the community photographs for the awards. Tina also curated and installed her work, as well as the selected community members' work, in an exhibition in an Osterley gallery. In addition, with this project, Tina hopes the project continues on with members of the Green Scene to have a platform to showcase photography about nature and environmental awareness, so it lives on after she graduates. Tina possesses excellent leadership qualities and impressive organizational skills and talents, where I am confident she will be successful in her future projects. Thank you.
All right, hello everyone. I am Megan Kolpostian. I'm actually the second reader on Nicole's thesis. I'm here on behalf of her director, Dr. Steve Masick. He sent his sincere apologies that he could not be here. I, however, and pleased in his absence because I get to take his place and recognize Nicole today. But I will be sharing the words that Dr. Masick sent. Everyone who knows Nicole knows that she is whip-smart, well-read, passionately committed to social justice, kind-hearted, and a source of boundless positive energy. What fewer people may know about Nicole is that she is also an exceptional researcher and writer. She is tireless and meticulous in her scholarship, a clear, precise, even elegant writer, and a skilled editor. Her thesis, grounded in extensive archival research and interviews with alumni and faculty involved in LGBTQ organizing at North Central, embodies everything I should say we, me and Steve, admire about her and her work. It centers the experiences of a historically marginalized group on our campus and highlights how members of what is now Outreach have transformed North Central's culture for the better. They created spaces where queer students could come out, express their identities, and support one another. Nicole's research is not only rigorous and scholarly, it is completely engrossing. The resulting thesis is both highly readable and deeply important. Speaking now for myself, I second Dr. Masick's confidence in you and your work. Nicole, in your research, in your engagement with class readings, and in your discussions with classmates, you always brought genuine curiosity and a deep interest in other people. Those are distinguishing marks of a liberal arts education, and I am grateful I got to be a part of yours. Nicole, I speak on behalf of Dr. Masick and myself when I say it has been a joy and an honor working with you. Congratulations.
I need a second or two to come to the terms with the fact that I'm getting old. I heard someone went to college when the iPhone just came out. I was in college when we were using typewriters and card catalogs, and I hate to tell any student what a card catalog is. But on a serious note, as the director of undergraduate research at North Central College, I want to congratulate every one of our 16 college scholars. They might not know, but I worked with all of you in one way or another on your abstracts that came into the Raoul Symposium. That's our college's a research symposium, to NCUR, the National Undergraduate College Research Symposium, as well as your Richter grants. Richter grants are grants, institutional grants that support individual research. A good third of you have received those, as well as seeing your work for the college scholars and other institutes where you might have applied to present your research. In my 30 some odd years in higher education, I've had few students like Victoria. I remember in my first class with her, she told me that, number one, she wanted to graduate in 3 years. She wanted to be a college scholar, and she wanted to write about sports history. Now, I didn't know Victoria, but I also heard a New York accent, and I knew those from Long Island. They were a little bit sassy, and I just didn't know if it was an attitude or if this was true. Over the course of those first few weeks in a course, a German studies course focusing on sports in Europe, I quickly came to know that Victoria's thought process was well beyond mine. Her work was astute, insightful, creative, and academically sound. By mid-semester, in her first semester, she expressed a sincere desire to work on baseball history. Might have known that I work on baseball history too. Not long thereafter, I suggested that we work on a scholarly essay. And I told her that those responses from scholarly essays can be quite, demeaning and abrupt. And listening from hearing back from two outside readers, a fact checker and a copyrighter, the comments on our essay sometimes were exactly that, demeaning and very straightforward. We worked through it. That turned out to be just the first of 9 scholarly essays we wrote and published in a span of about 3.5 years. At the end of Victoria's first year, she began working on her college thesis, something that I had never even heard of. I was not even sure if that was possible. It turned out it was, and by the end of her sophomore year, she had finished her thesis, her third year finishing coursework. And this past year, she conducted an internship with the Society for American Baseball Research, SABR, and now she's working on an internship with the Minnesota Twins. Victoria, your work has been inspiring. I am so sad to lose such an amazing research partner. But the great thing is, we work together now on a number of items. So I want to congratulate you on everything, and I look forward to seeing you so often in the future. Victoria, good job.
A traffic jam. Maxine, what a remarkable journey you have had. It has always been such a joy to watch you on that path, to watch you push and challenge yourself in your courses, your international travel, and of course, your thesis. As is the case for everyone in this room, it wasn't always easy, but you kept a positive attitude and continued to work the process. You were always able to keep the big picture in mind. From the start, you knew with absolute clarity the argument you wanted to develop, explore, and test. Maxine was examining the foreign policy implications of South Korea's use of soft power, specifically whether the exportation of various forms of South Korean culture could reap positive foreign policy benefits. The project allowed Maxine to be in her happy place, traveling to South Korea to study their history, culture, and the also important independent variable for this project, K-dramas. Otherwise known as Korean dramas, television series produced in South Korea that have proven to be wildly popular all over the world. Could those TV dramas actually act as a form of soft power and opening space for diplomatic achievements that would otherwise not be possible? This was an ambitious project, and as you can imagine, one where demonstrating the effect on the dependent variable is rather tricky. But Maxine did it through thoughtful and precise historical, political, and cultural data collection and analysis. It was such a creative project where you found compelling data in support of your thesis. It doesn't usually work out that way. Data is always messy and complex, and it's hard to find any patterns, and in some way that's sort of the point. It's a lesson of just how hard research is, this endeavor that all of us are so deeply committed to. Yet your ability to see both the micro and the macro perspectives and to work the process allowed you to produce a thesis you can be proud of. I feel lucky to have been part of the process and have had the opportunity to watch your intellectual growth and development. Congratulations, Maxine.
Okay, this is not my first speech about how wonderful Andrea is. As a person, artist, student, and scholar, she was our Outstanding Major Award winner this year. Andrea is an amazing painter and illustrator, but she's also a great writer, animator, digital artist, storyteller, and has successfully dabbled in textiles, printmaking, and ceramics as well. When I was teaching her how to crochet, it was the first time I saw Andrea struggle with something. I thought, oh, maybe there's one thing she can't do. But of course, the next week I met her, she had created a beautiful embroidery with crocheted elements. Not only is she talented, but she is resilient, hardworking, and passionate, and contagiously cheerful. It has been inspiring to work with you. Andrea's honors thesis, Ada and the Lemon Tree, is a professional-level, gorgeously illustrated adult picture book and a solo exhibition of the original paintings at Osterley Gallery. Not her first solo exhibition, by the way. She's extremely prolific. In Andrea's own words, quote, Ada and the Lemon Tree portrays the ups and downs of creative work and seeks to encourage young adult artists to have faith in who they are and what they can create, reminding us to believe in our artistic voices. It is the book that, if I could, I would give to my younger self, unquote. Andrea, keep bringing your cheer and care to everything you do. I will miss you very much.
Hi, Haley. So I gotta give a shout out to Haley's family for giving me this shirt. They all had shirts made for Haley for the national championship, so I had to rep today. Haley Poe is outstanding in every way. She's a 4-time national champion in triathlon who has been recognized not only by USA Triathlon, but by the NCAA with her postgraduate scholarship. She is the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, a double major in sport management and leadership, the outstanding sport management and leadership majors of the year, an irreplaceable intern with the DuPage County Sports Commission. I keep hearing that you're never going to be able to be replaced. So, an honors student, a soon-to-be master's student, and above all, she's a good and caring person who is passionate about making the world a better place. When Haley asked me to be her thesis advisor, she already had a research idea in place. As someone who is a supporter of athlete mental health awareness, she wanted to find out how student-athlete mental health advocacy Instagram accounts were using their platforms to promote mental health literacy. We spent a lot of time in my office researching mental health literature and then investigating the best way to approach the data analysis. We have good memories in there. We found out that coding worked best, and though we initially had plans for using up my office walls, posting and I keep thinking it was like a murder book or something, like where we were posting Instagram images all over my office. We ended up scaling it back a bit, and through a combination of my cutting up hundreds of Instagram images by hand, and then Haley coding with our highlighters and markers in a baggy set. Haley found fascinating results with what the accounts are promoting, but maybe even more so with what they have left out of their posts. Haley's final thesis paper came together beautifully, and you should be so proud of this work. It's a high-level analysis that I think is ready for journal submission. I can't express enough how impressed I am with the quality of the work you did on this entire project. You're so ready for grad school. I'm going to miss our weekly thesis and tea meetings and just catching up about sport news in general so much. I hope you're able to find a professor that has a good stock of tea in Boston. Haley, you're truly the best. It's been an absolute privilege to be your thesis advisor and professor, and I can't wait to see what else you do in the future.
Mia, it is my pleasure to present you with this honors cord in recognition of your successful completion of your thesis that is entitled The Role of Religious Leaders in Navigating Trauma. Over the past year, you have stretched and grown as a scholar and a researcher. You have explored this topic of post-traumatic growth. You interviewed religious leaders to learn how faith guides their efforts to support people through challenging moments. You completed thoughtful analysis and presented your findings at the Rawl Symposium. This topic really gets at some essential questions about all of our humanity, about how we move through difficult times, how we grow through those experiences, and you explored how faith and community supports people not only to survive, but to thrive. Tackling a topic like this, I think, really speaks to your training as a Scheimer Great Book Scholar, but also your curiosity. I suspect that you are one of those people that always asks one more question. And I know I was really glad of that in my fall class because you kept our conversations going. You are a person who seeks opportunities to learn about this world through close reading, through conversation, and most importantly, by living into this world. And so I wish you all of the best as you prepare for your next steps. Congratulations, and keep asking great questions. Jasmine, I also have the pleasure of presenting you with this honors cord to celebrate the successful completion of your thesis entitled Educating on Disparities, Healthcare System Deficiencies, and Diabetes Outcome in Undocumented Latinx Immigrants. You are one of the most giving and passionate people I know. And your spirit is reflected in this work. From the beginning of the process, you sought to find ways to make health outcomes better for people. As a healthcare provider, you know firsthand how a chronic condition like diabetes impacts people. As a scholar, you designed and tested an educational intervention and shared your results at the Rawl Symposium. Over time, the ideas for your thesis transitioned to an educational model for future healthcare providers, and this is an approach that is likely to have far-reaching impact. And that is so, Jasmine. In addition to your thesis and courses, you have made a significant impact on our campus as a student leader through programming with Cardinal First, Tau Sigma, Breakaway, Psychology Club, and there's probably a few others. You have built a legacy of service to your fellow students. I know your generous spirit will continue as you take your next steps as a healthcare provider. And while your service energizes you, be sure to take time to care for yourself. Jasmine, it's been a pleasure to travel to Ireland with you, to share classes, and now this thesis. Congratulations and best wishes.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to celebrate Olivia and her remarkable honors thesis. It's where music composition became not just her prime focus of her thesis, but also a really nice a written reflection at the end. I want to say that this was really meaningful for me because I've advised honors theses before over the last 15 years, and this is the first one where I got to work with someone who's composing music, which is what I do. And so this was not just fun, but very meaningful for me to actually serve as your advisor for that. So Olivia composed 7 original pieces for a video game that she developed, created, and programmed herself. So in some ways, it's kind of amazing that she did all 3 of these things, the written part, the video game, and of course the original music, all in one year. And what I think really what sets her work apart is how personal it is, because it represented stages of her life, capturing emotions that resonate deeply with her own journey. So we had many meaningful discussions about how this kind of music, it wasn't just background, it was a storytelling tool. And it was designed to evoke either, I guess, a flow state or an edge of seat tension in the player. And I learned a lot about gaming and video game development in this process too, so it was really fun. So Olivia's process, from composition to production, mixing and mastering, was an impressive feat in itself. But it's her thoughtful reflection on how she used these digital tools, many of these tools that she learned on her own for the very first time in the last two years. Olivia embodies what it means to learn, grow, and embrace challenges with positivity. Her creativity, her technical skill, and her dedication would be an inspiration to all of her peers, and I would frequently bring her up in all of my classes, say, this person works so hard and never complains about it. In fact, she so cared about revision that I think she would have been revising until today had I told her to stop and turn it in. She did a great job, really beautiful music. I hope that you get a chance to play the game and to listen to it. It's really incredible. Congratulations. And
It has truly been my honor to work with Francesca Whalen on her honors thesis over the past several years. In her thesis, she examined the differences in cardiorespiratory fitness levels between students who were first generation versus continuing generation college students. I've genuinely struggled to find the right words to express how proud I am of her. Francesca's commitment to this project has been nothing short of inspiring. There were many moments when I found myself in awe of the fact that she's just an undergraduate student, because her work ethic and research skills are truly on par with that of a graduate level scholar. What impressed me the most was Francesca's ability to connect information that she learned in her classes, in her own experiences as a first-generation college student, to craft a meaningful and relevant research question. She went on to recruit over 50 students and brought them in for data collection, which included having each student walk a mile as fast as they could. It's not an easy feat to recruit 50 students for a trial, especially if it involves them to exercise as hard as they can, but you did it. I'm so proud of Francesca for identifying a significant gap in the literature and for revealing that overall college students' fitness levels are lower than what we would have expected, and in particular, first-generation college students who are not athletes tend to have the lowest fitness levels. As Francesca transitions into the next chapter of her journey, I know that she will be a compassionate and successful physical therapy student. She has the drive, insight, and heart to make a meaningful impact on all the lives of her future patients. Congratulations, Francesca.
Process of elimination. I'm going to be speaking the words for Perry, Kyle's thesis director, but he asked me to speak. I've had the privilege to have a class with Kyle 2 times. We just finished up our capstone with 6 or 5 other scholars, and we do have plans for NC Forward. I have notes. So I can't say enough about Kyle. Inquisitive, creative. He's the one person that was always like, but why? Why? And so always knew he would push to that. He also served as our Blue Key president, and this is our national service learning on campus. So just that constant giving. I think when you say bio, chem, and empathy may not be together, but he truly exhibits when we think of how to have basic humanity in biology and in chemistry. So I feel very honored to celebrate you. Perry's words, it's not every day that a pre-med student approaches a philosophy and religion professor about directing their honors thesis, but Kyle is no typical student. Kyle's accomplishments in the natural sciences earned him outstanding major in biochemistry recognition this year, and he's done impressive research over the past 4 years with our biology faculty. He's got presentations as well as publications. And constant, 2 internships? Yeah. 3, 4, too many to count, but that gives you an example of Kyle. His curiosity and character led him to complete an honors thesis in a totally different field, ethics, and to examine the transformative effects of North Central Men's cross-country program through the lens of Aristotle's virtue theory. Kyle and I met almost every week from September through mid-April, and his thesis bears witness to his tenacity, thoughtfulness, and excellence of soul. Thank you for a wonderful year together.
Thank you so much.
I apologize for not being able to attend the honors courting ceremony, and I'm especially sorry to Emily that I can't be here in person to tell her how proud I am of her work. Emily is a wonderful student and a person, and it was a pleasure to work on this project with her. Her thesis project, titled Exploring North Central College Students' Perceptions of Climate Change examined whether college students experience anxiety in relation to climate change's global impacts. It's always interesting to conduct research about anxiety when the project itself can also create anxiety. I had to read that sentence like 2 times, so true. While there were a few hiccups and anxiety-inducing issues, Emily handled them with poise and maturity. She sought out help from professors and fellow students when needed and completed the research and analysis with precision and success. As a director, I can echo that in all our communication and your work. You've done really well. She completed a project about a relevant and important topic, and she was able to make interesting conclusions about student perceptions of our global climate and the anxiety that arises about these issues. Congratulations, Emily, on the completion of your honors thesis and on your graduation. I am proud of your hard work and success. On a personal note, she states, I'm going to miss working with you. All right, before turning things over to our provost, just a quick announcement. After the ceremony, we ask that students exit the theater first and head directly upstairs to the balcony where you will join the president for our champagne toast. Highlight. I'd like to thank the provost and vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Kristen Garrity, for her outstanding support of the College Scholars Program, and ask her to offer a closing remark. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good afternoon. I'm so glad to be here to celebrate this milestone with you all. I had the opportunity to welcome those of you who entered the program in the fall of 2021 during your first days on campus, my last fall as program director. Enjoyed some donuts during coffee and conversation with some of you in the Ward multipurpose room that year, and had the joy of teaching a few of you in our leadership course for student preceptors since then. I always love this event. It's one of my favorite events here on campus, and this one is extra special for me, so thank you all so much. College scholars, you have set the bar high for academic excellence and contributed significantly to our campus community. You've completed theses, studied abroad, presented at academic conferences, and participated in North Central's research programs. Many of you have performed on North Central's stages, while others have excelled on athletic fields. You have served as resident assistants, orientation staff leaders, first-year mentors, and on executive boards of student organizations. You have had a strong presence on this campus. I encourage you to remain connected with us on your journey ahead. You will always be part of the Cardinal community. We can't wait to hear about your many successes, and we'll also be here when you need advice. Come back to campus for reunions, for athletic competitions, and for fine arts events. Not only to reconnect with your friends and faculty, but to inspire future students with your example. Enjoy every moment of this celebratory weekend. Remember to express gratitude to the family members and friends and mentors who have supported you, inspired you, and challenged you along the way to this milestone. Know that they take great pride in your accomplishments, and they are anxious, we're all anxious, to celebrate your future successes. As a college scholar, you have gone above and beyond in your academic performance. It's been an honor having you here, and you have left your mark on our community in so many ways. Congratulations to all of you. Can we give them one more round of applause? I want to thank you all for participating in our 2025 Honors Program courting ceremony. Please do join us in the lobby for a celebratory reception. And in just a few minutes, President Goke Pariola will lead us in our champagne toast. Thank you again.